The Rooiberg Pass is not such an old pass. It was built in 1928. You can see the significant rock work here. Hello and welcome back to Vander's View channel. Yeah, I'm currently finding myself in the pretty little town of Calitzdorp. So if you've not seen how I ended up in Calitzdorp, please make sure to go and watch the previous video, or where I rode the beautiful Vanwyksdorp to get to Calitzdorp. This is all part of my series of videos focusing on the Little Karoo or the Klein Karoo. I'm on the move again and I'm about to leave Calitzdorp. Oh, these buildings. Oh, there's beautiful buildings in Calitzdorp. I mean, this is such an old town. Just look at this. Fortified wine. The port capital of South Africa. I must say, I'm very excited about the trip. Or maybe there's some hint on this board of where we are going. I'm going to ride all the way from Calitzdorp to Vanwyksdorp. So yeah, Vanwyksdorp was a town that I visited previously. Of course, I was so in love with that area that I decided I'm going to go to Vanwyksdorp again. And this time I'm going to stay over the night. But I'm going to ride a completely different route. I'm going to ride from Calitzdorp to Vanwyksdorp via the Rooiberg Pass. Now, Rooiberg Pass is a special pass. It is not very far if you ride like this from Calitzdorp, only about 55 kilometers or so. The Rooiberg Pass is one of the most beautiful passes, I think, to ride. The Rooiberg Pass is the kind of roads that I like to ride. It is small dirt roads, narrow and beautiful scenery. So I'm very much looking forward to this. At the moment we are riding here next to the River. We are departing from Calitzdorp in a southerly direction and we will be heading into those mountains. Of course, the Rooiberg Pass passes through the Rooiberg. It's really a beautiful part of the Little Karoo. This is also by far the shortest route to travel from Calitzdorp to Vanwyksdorp. I've left Calitzdorp behind now. I've been following the River towards the right hand side, but at some point we need to cross the River. I suspect it might be happening here in front, but as you can see we are getting closer to the Rooiberg mountains now. The town of Vanwyksdorp is only about 42 kilometers from here. So the riding from here quickly is going to become up and down as we enter the mountains. I'm really looking forward to this ride to Vanwyksdorp. I think this road that we're going to take now is not only beautiful, but the fact that I'm then also ending up in this quaint little town of Vanwyksdorp, to me is just the cherry on the cake. I think Vanwyksdorp just captures this whole feeling of isolation and beauty of the Klein Karoo so aptly. So it's going to be nice to just stay over there tonight. This is the River, so we need to cross it now. I suspect it's going to be just low water bridge. This time of the year there's not a lot of water. We are not in the rainy season. It's actually a bit hot now. I suspect it is above 30 degrees. Earlier today the weather was a little bit cooler, but still all okay. As long as the motorcycle is on the move, I can keep relatively cool, but the moment I stop it becomes a bit more uncomfortable. Yeah, so here we are crossing the River. It is flowing quite a bit, but I think we are basically across it now. Yeah, this road is just twisting and turning here through the acacia trees. I think we are just finding our way still to the foothills of the Rooiberg and to the start of the Rooiberg Pass. Yeah, it is an interesting ride. But the dirt road is good. I can keep a steady pace. So I think on the GPS you can see the twists and turns. We are going to start climbing now very soon. So this must be the start of the Rooiberg Pass on the northern side of the Rooiberg. I just want to be careful here because I did see a car coming from the front. Oh, look at this stone bridge. Yo. Yeah, this is climbing. I have to keep my eyes open. But how cool is this road? Yeah, the twists and turns. This is the kind of GPS you want to see when you do this kind of interesting roads. Already there's a bit of elevation, so we can start looking back. So there is the Swartberge. That's where we came through in the previous video when I took the Vanwyksdorp to get to Calitzdorp. Yeah, so this is now the start of the Rooiberg Pass. Now, the Rooiberg Pass is not such an old pass. It was built in 1928, so it is, yeah, some of these other passes, for example, the Vanwyksdorp was already built in 1850, so you can see 1928 is not that old, but you can see the significant rock work here. I'm just going to make a stop because it just shows what it takes to build this. Let me just have a look. So I just made a quick stop at this hairpin bend in the Rooiberg Pass, because in those days when this was built it was all brickwork. So just look at this brickwork here. You can also see it there in this stretch, so it's quite a steep stretch to then twist and turn up here. Yo, this must have been hard work. Look at the size of some of these rocks to be placed in position. Yo. Yeah, hopefully this gives you a bit of a sense of building work for the Rooiberg Pass. Let's continue. This brickwork continues. Every turn you take you can see some part of this brickwork. You just keep this road intact. Oh, here the road is really rough. Yet another hairpin bend. Yeah. Look at this view. So there you can see the Gamka River Valley, and then all to that side there's Calitzdorp in the distance. Sure. But yeah, let's just try and get on top of this very steep part of the Rooiberg Pass, the steep incline. I think we are now close to getting to the top of the mountain, because these areas are quite more stretched out plains. Beautiful vegetation. Yep, some more bikers. It's got the same idea. They're going significantly faster than I'm going. Yeah, standing up on some of these parts just makes it a little bit more comfortable. The road is really rough at the moment. Oh, no, this is not your normal dirt road. This is your back road. Yeah, so the top of the Rooiberg pass is not really a peak, but it is, I suppose, the highest point of the pass is where we are. Yeah, here it is. Let's make a stop. I just made a stop here at the top of the Rooiberg, or the Rooiberg Pass peak. Oh, just looking for a spot of shade here. It is quite hot now. Yeah, just to take a bit of a break, but also to get a bit of water. Let's have a bit of a look at the info that is displayed here at the top of Rooiberg Pass. So there's yet another mountain passes South Africa board that's been erected here also for the Rooiberg Pass. Yeah, there it is established that it was constructed 1928, and the altitude here 797 meters, so it's almost 800 meters. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's really possible to see on the camera, but the views towards that side is quite spectacular. You can see how the Swartberg mountains are lying there and stretching on towards Oudtshoorn and Prince Albert and so on. Beautiful. So yeah, continuing with the theme of the other videos is also talking a little bit more about my bike, the Honda CRF 300 Rally. I bought this bike about 6 months ago. This is the third extended trip that I'm doing, and I'm simply loving this bike. It's got a 300cc engine, so to me that is enough power to ride comfortably, but also not so powerful that I will not be able to control it, and that the bike is not so heavy that I cannot pick it up. So I spoke about some of the modifications that I did. I mean, the first ones were the handle protectors, also the pannier racks, and then in the last video I spoke about the electrics, what I did to get it connected up, as well as the clamp that keeps my phone and GPS in place. So maybe for now I would just like to point out something else. This is something new for this trip actually, and this is this seat cover. You will see you don't see the bright red cover of the seat so well anymore. It's because it's got this mesh structured. I'm not sure how easy you can see it on the camera, but it's quite a thick mesh, very tightly, that fits around the seat. And when you sit on it, it actually allows for airflow underneath your bum, because it doesn't touch the seat. So it helps a lot not to sweat too much on the seat, because one of the things that I really, from the last trip, you do spend lots of hours in the seat, and my bum was quite sore. So I approached once again the people at Flying Brick, and they, yes, once again had a product for the seat as well, and I bought this, and so far it's extremely comfortable. I can really recommend it. They also do have it for other motorbikes, and yeah, certainly something that I will keep on the seat or the saddle. It's something that works very nicely. So yeah, that is it. I will talk about some other features in other videos, but yeah, please send me your comments if you have questions about the bike, especially if you have questions or suggestions or things that I still should do. Please let me know. This was now quite a nice, although a bit hot, stop at Rooiberg Pass Peak. Let's continue on to Vanwyksdorp. Vanwyksdorp is another 28 kilometers from here, so not that far to go. But I think arguably the more beautiful part of the pass is now still coming. So one of the things that this pass is very famous for, and this whole area, is the aloes that grow here. There you can see one standing there, and we're not seeing so much at the moment, but be assured the further we drive, the more it's going to be, and it's going to be literally hundreds of thousands of these things are growing in the Rooiberg Pass. So you can see we are immediately starting to descend. Oh, just look at mountains. So of course that is the Langeberg that is lying there, and tomorrow when I continue with my trip we will ride through the Langeberg at a very special pass as well. So please stay tuned. There will be more videos on this trip. But yeah, as I was saying, the Rooiberg Pass is famous for its aloes, and as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, we also do have a channel, myself and my wife, that is called Backroad Chronicles. And in August last year we did do the drive with our Fortuner up to the Rooiberg Pass, and the aloes are not in bloom now. They bloom around July, August. Then it is a sea of orange flowers of the aloes that you can see. So I'm going to put a clip here so that you can have a bit of an idea of what those aloes look like. It is simply stunningly beautiful. If you want to see more of that trip, please go and have a look at the video. I will put that link in the description of this video. And yeah, of course, if you want to subscribe to Backroad Chronicles as well, please do. But yeah, for now I need to be careful to just descend on this first part. But there are steeper descents coming. I think you can see this part of the Rooiberg is actually relatively flat. But yeah, this road is tricky. I need to concentrate the whole time. Here you can see the road of the Rooiberg Pass, of course, going down, but you can see how it twists and then turn and then go all along the valley and then continue on that side. I love this vantage point where you can see for miles and miles where you're actually going. Okay, now it is going a little bit faster. More and more aloes are being seen. You can see some of the tall aloes here next to the road, but we are going to see many more. You see here on the hill there's also some aloes. So I suspect we actually have done the Rooiberg Pass, but there are certainly parts of this road remaining that is quite dramatic. So I suppose one can refer to this as the Rooiberg Pass road. Yo, now there's lots of aloes. This is quite a prominent hairpin turn here on the Rooiberg Pass road. But it's loose. Beautiful. We need to descend a bit more. I think this is where it's starting. There is a sign saying the next steep descent is from around this corner. Let's first make a stop here. Yeah, so now there's only 10 kilometers remaining to Vanwyksdorp after quite a long day. If you've watched the previous videos, you will know that this day started already at 7 o'clock this morning at Leeuwenboschfontein Guest Farm there in the Little Karoo in the Toastervier area. It's now already 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's about 10 hours later. I'm looking forward to be making a stop in Vanwyksdorp. This dirt road is now excellent, so we're making good progress. I just passed the Rooiberg Lodge, which is probably one of the most well-known accommodation places in Vanwyksdorp. So yeah, Vanwyksdorp is a small place, but in and around Vanwyksdorp you do get accommodation options. I in the end contacted Wendy. Now Wendy is a person that runs the Vanwyksdorp backpackers, but that's not the only accommodation she has. She also has units that she calls the old post house, self-catering accommodation units, and I've opted for one of those units. So Wendy was very friendly. She sorted me out quickly, finalized the booking, so I'm looking forward very much to staying in the old post house in Vanwyksdorp. Oh, look at this. Is it Bougainvillea? Yeah, it's beautiful. This Rooiberg Pass and Rooiberg Pass road is an absolute joy to ride. If you want a bit of a challenge, especially on a motorcycle, this is quite a nice one. It's a bumpy road, but it's not too technical. If you take it slow and careful, you can enjoy this beautiful road. Okay, so I've made it to the town of Vanwyksdorp. So it seems like I'm just here in the upper parts of town at the moment, but it gives us an opportunity to ride through the town a bit. Just look at this beautiful lane of trees taking us to the church, I think. Yeah, it's really great to be back in Vanwyksdorp. This town is the town that is situated next to the Groot River, and tomorrow when I depart again I will see a bit of the Groot River. This town was actually established in 1904 as a parish of the Dutch Reformed Church. So the church is the catalyst and the reason for the existence of this town. So you can see the church here in front. So 1904 the parish was established, and the church was built shortly after this, 1906 to 1908. Well over 100 years old. I've shown this church in one of my previous videos, and I'm always struck by how symmetrical this church is. It basically has the same view from all four directions, so it's quite symmetrical. This church can seat 700 people, so it's not so small. An interesting little fact about this church was that the organ that is used was actually donated by the Dutch Reformed Church of Riversdal, and that organ had to be brought by ox wagon on the dirt roads all the way from Riversdal, and we will be riding those exact dirt roads tomorrow. So yeah, the church dominates this little town. The community of Vanwyksdorp is actually very well known for many small farms that practice sustainable farming. So you get a lot of organic farming, sustainable farming, and Vanwyksdorp is quite well known for this. I can only describe it as a quaint town. It must be quite peaceful staying here, quiet and away from everything. But I would assume a bit isolated as well. Many houses with big stoep areas, but also houses for sale. But yeah, now I will try and find my way to the old post house and see. There is somebody fetching me. Yeah, so this is the unit right here. Thank you very much for joining me on this trip today. So yeah, this one started in Calitzdorp earlier this afternoon. Made quite an interesting ride across the Rooiberg Pass and the Rooiberg Pass road. It was a bit rough, it was a bit hot, but I made it safely to Vanwyksdorp. So I'm looking forward to relax a bit, have something to eat, see a bit more of the town. But tomorrow morning I will continue on the next leg of this trip. So please watch out for the next videos to see where the rest of this journey will go. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And then until the next video, which will come soon, bye bye.